card, paying a payout. Diddy is apathetic about all of the prostitution he made. He's been obsessing about that in jail. Did Diddy break the RICO charges by bribing some of the jurors? What's up, my beautiful soul family? How's everybody feeling today? So, Diddy was convicted on 2 lesser counts of prostitution, but was acquitted on all his RICO charges. A lot of people are shocked and wondering how did that happen. A lot of people feel like Diddy was guilty and that the jury should have convicted him on all counts. However, there have been some claims that Diddy bribed the jury in order to acquit him on the RICO charges. So what I thought I would do in this video, I want to look into that. Did Diddy really bribe the jurors? We're going to answer that question in this video today. Now, y'all know, of course, before I start this reading, I need to put out my disclaimer. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Everything I state in this video is just my interpretation of the cards. Nothing I state in this video has been proven to be fact as of now. So now that we got that disclaimer out the way, let's shuffle these cards and let's see, did Diddy bribe the jury in order to beat the RICO charges? All right, so let's pull the cards. Let's see if we get the answers that we seek. Here you go. You got the Lovers reversed. You got the Page of Wands. You got the Moon reversed. You got the Emperor reversed. You got the King of Wands reversed. Let me see here. Finish pulling these cards and then I can look it over. Let me see. The Lovers reversed. There was a lot of disputing, I feel like, between... There was a lot of disputing, I feel like, it was between the jurors. I feel like... he wanted to get out of jail. Hold on. I'm looking over these cards, and I asked if Diddy bribed the jury to beat the RICO charges, but I'm seeing other stuff too. Like I'm seeing about how Diddy was having a nervous breakdown in jail. You know what I mean? I'm also seeing some kind of struggles, conflict, and fighting. I'm seeing some kind of authority, like law enforcement. You know what I mean? This is what I'm looking over. I'm seeing somebody that's overbearing, that's trickster, that's manipulative. You know what I mean? That's sneaky and conniving, underhanded. I'm seeing somebody that's a bully. You know what I mean? That's you know what I mean? A control freak. He has a really violent temper. And he's seen as a violent individual. You know what I mean? I feel like there's somebody that's scared. There's a boy that's scared. I think a lot of the people that turned against Diddy is scared right now. I mean, like I said, this isn't the question I'm asking, but I feel like the cards have a message that they want to put out there, and I feel like I should still talk about the message. You know what I mean? Diddy fought a lot of opposition in order for him to even win this much in his case. You know what I mean? Over the course of the, I think the trial took place, 10 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. I'm saying that this was weeks that this trial, you know what I mean, played out. Now, hopefully Spirit is going to answer the question, but what I'm seeing right now is that Diddy is apathetic about all of the prostitution he made that happened, all the prayer he enforced. He's apathetic about all of that. You know what I mean? I'm seeing that he liked being in control. He did transport people across state lines. I'm seeing allegedly in these cards, they're saying that Diddy's very ruthless. Diddy's very manipulative. He's tricky. You know what I mean? I feel like Diddy would do stuff by any means. He doesn't care about how he achieves what he wants to achieve. And he felt like he had no other choice. You know what I mean? Because he was, you know what I mean? He wants to get out of jail, but he's incarcerated right now. You know what I mean? He's in custody. He's in, you know what I mean, law enforcement. So he wants to get out. This is what I'm saying. He's apathetic. He don't care about them charges against him. He's not sorry for any of it. You know what I mean? He's, like I said, he's a very ruthless guy, very overbearing, just untrustworthy. He's not a good guy, allegedly, from what I'm seeing in the cards. But he felt like he had no other choice. You know what I mean? He was really struggling with this court case. I'm seeing that he tried to make payments to certain people. There was like he tried to make exchanges. I feel like there was a bribe. I feel like somebody was bribed in this case, but I don't feel like all the jurors was bribed. But I do see that there was at least 2 people that were bribed, allegedly. Um, like I said, he struggled to move forward in this case. You know what I mean? He's trying to get bail because he's trying to flee. And this is why they're not, he's a flight risk, and this is why the judge is not allowing him to have bail right now. That was his plan, allegedly, what I'm seeing in the cards. He was going to post bail, and he was going to leave the country. He was going to flee. But, because, like, all right, I'll even show you guys why I'm saying, you got the 3 of wands right here that's talking. This is about foreign travel to a foreign land. Next to it, you had the 8 of cups in reverse, somebody that wants to escape but is unable to. So therefore, this tells me that he wanted to escape to another country, but because he couldn't make bail, he's unable to. So that's next is the 4 of Cups in reverse, which I feel like I said, his offer for his offer for bail was rejected because they know that he's the type that would use his resources for bad. So this is why they're like, no, you're dangerous. He's considered dangerous, especially to all the people that testified against him. You know what I mean? I think this is their concern. Is he going to go after these people? Is he going to flee the country? Which I'm seeing in these cards that could possibly be what is on his mind. You know what I mean? He's mad at the women for testifying against him for making them, you know what I mean, sell their body, allegedly. That's what I'm seeing in the cards right now. So, okay. All right. So, I think Spirit is just telling me everything about this whole Diddy verdict going on. Let me see here. So, the last thing I was saying, right, was that he was lacking resources right now to successfully flee. So let me see. That's why the judge made that decision, so that he couldn't flee the country because he's a celebrity. You know what I mean? He put a stop to that. He knows that Diddy had a lot of power, like being a celebrity, having resources. You know what I mean? Having money. And the judge made that decision. You see how you got the King of Wands? Excuse me, not the King of Wands. I'm so sorry. The King of Swords, which I'm feeling like the judge analyzed the situation and he put an end to that. This is why he denied him bail this time. Okay, so I guess that Spirit is just telling me all about this case. Either way, I'm just going to let Spirit talk. Let me see here. Let me pull some more cards. You know what I mean? Before I talk some more. Let me see here. So, yep, see the violence. He was going to go after, allegedly, what I'm seeing in the cards, I feel like he was going to go after Cassie and them other people that, like the people that was putting out stories about him. I feel like that's what he was going to do. He was going to go stir up trouble. He was going to flee, but he was also going to go do some foolish crap, stir up trouble, you know what I mean, try to get them touched. You know what I mean? The ones that told that he had homosexual, relations with them, you know what I mean? He had a bone to pick with them, you know what I mean? And I feel like he's been obsessing about that in jail, and I feel like he wanted to, this is why he wanted to do that. But I'm seeing a negative change in circumstances. I'm seeing he was reckless. He was very reckless, you know what I mean? And everybody knows that he's been very reckless, and this is why the judge won't let him go. You know what I mean? There's some kind of cooperation, and then I'm seeing a negative change in circumstances, or somebody that's refusing to move on from some kind of pain, which I'm feeling like he was going to go do some foolish stuff. You know what I mean? That's what was on the forefront of his mind. He's about self-gratification. He's about satisfying that anger in him, that evil in him. That's what I'm seeing allegedly in his cards. He was going to go get revenge. This is what I'm saying. He had a vendetta, like a score to settle with them. Like Cassie, allegedly, like I said, other people that came forward saying he did stuff to them, you know what I mean, while he was in jail. Look, I'll even show you guys the cards of why I'm saying this. Okay. So the Fool card reversed, everybody knows that with the Fool card reversed, you know what I mean? That's about being reckless, making foolish decisions, not thinking stuff out. You know what I mean? Going down the wrong path. Then you got the Three of Swords reversed next to it, which is about some kind of cooperation. He was going to make, no, actually about a grudge, not moving on from something, regret. You know what I mean? And refusing to move on from a hurt or a past relationship. You got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, which is about emotional turmoil. He was driving himself crazy. Then you also see the Nine of Cups, which is about gratification, getting what you want. Next to it is the Devil reverse, which is about having a vendetta or a score to settle. You know what I mean? And then you got the Harem in reverse, which is about somebody that's that was falling in disgrace. And you got the Two of Cups in reverse, which is about his ex-partners. You know what I mean? Then next to the Hangman, which is about in suspension. So this is how I put it together, that while he was incarcerated, the people that was cooperating with law enforcement and you know what I mean, especially and also putting out stories and doing interviews to get money on, you know what I mean, and telling their side of the story, he wants to get even with all of them, allegedly. This is what I'm seeing in the cards. All right. So, okay, so this is also talking about why he didn't make bail, even though the question was, did he bribe the jurors? I'm getting a feeling that there were bribes. Spirit answered that, but Spirit is also talking about, you know what I mean, why he's being denied bail. Let me see. I feel like they're still building a case against him. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna do a reading to see if they're still building a case against him, or this was all when they was building a case for him. I'm just seeing that, you know, you got the Master Builder, and then you got the Seven of Swords in reverse, which is about him shrieking accountability. They were building a case against him, but he was able to evade responsibility for now. But I feel like they still building a case against him. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to be held accountable for the stuff he did to stay rich and be rich and to get richer. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's deeply contemplating who he's going to get, you know, who he's going to get when he get out. You know what I mean? He feel like everybody left him alone. He's ruined. You know what I mean? Everybody turned their back on him. This is how he see it. He's seeing himself as the victim in all of this. He feels like the victim still. Allegedly. You know what I mean? All he wants to do right now is move on from this trial, get out of jail, you know what I mean? Get back to running his business, probably get back to the child abusing, you know what I mean? And I'm not even just making it up. The Page of Cups in reverse, which talks about the child abusing. It also talks about how he's trying to act like he's cool, calm, and collected on the outside, but inside, you know what I mean? He's a scared little boy. He's scared. He's still shook up. He's still worried because he still don't know what these two charges is going to bring. You know what I mean? I feel like more truth is going to come out. You know what? See, stuff is keep pointing to me that this, even though we think it's over, it's not over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out with another video to see if will there be other stuff. Now, look, you got the charity card, a payout. Somebody received payment. That's why the things changed around with those 3 charges. He would have been found guilty on them 3 charges. I'm feeling like there was a payout, allegedly. The truth will come out about this. He's not going to... There's something going on. There's something going on. I see something negative, like it ended on a negative note. I feel like this is still not going to be a win situation. They're going to have to review that case. I feel like something about that case is going to get reviewed. You know what I mean? And I feel like they might look at that and maybe, you know what I mean, judge it as a mistrial or something, or he's going to have to come back. I don't know if he could come back on the charges because it's double jeopardy, but I don't know. I feel like something is going to get looked at there. So to answer the original question, was some of the jurors paid? I'm seeing in the cards that some of the jurors might have been paid, you know what I mean, to excuse Diddy with the RICO charges. But I feel like that's going to get found out, allegedly. You know what I mean? Thank you, my beautiful soul family, for tuning in. I'll see y'all in the next reading. Love you, my babies. Have a good one.